In times of extreme danger, Final Fantasy characters use limit breaks, burst attacks that allow them to harness their maximum potential. But what is Final Fantasy's best limit break? Well, I teamed up with Nathan from NG+, the channel that has beaten 3 Final Fantasies with only limit breaks, to figure it out. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Tantacles.
Oh, that's me. Let's talk about what these tiers are. I think these are the more standard tiers. Existence ended, solar system destroyed, Earth ravaged, Titanic that hit the iceberg, dislocated your shoulder. Oh, these should be switched, shouldn't they? Wow, I messed up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I'd rather have a dislocated shoulder than be murdered. The classic gave me a boo-boo. Does that count? Is that really a limit break?
There's room for everybody. Let's just say that.
Can I ask what current topic means?
Well, it means that we're going to talk about Locke first. And by Locke, I mean literally everyone in Final Fantasy VI. Locke and the gang, they have limit breaks that just do extra damage. Drago and Realm, they have limit breaks that do instant death, which obviously doesn't affect bosses.
I've done some research on desperation attacks because I almost had a stupid idea to try and do Final Fantasy VI with only desperation attacks. Do you know why it's a stupid idea? To activate a desperation attack, you have to do a physical normal attack, and if you're in like yellow health, that attack has a 16% chance to just be a desperation attack instead.
It seems about as reliable as my dad.
Your dad is RNG.
16% of the time he's there, but the rest of the time he's not present.
So
no, my actual dad, I love you. I'm just kidding. The lack of reliability is what really kills it for me. At maximum, it can go into dislocated my shoulder, but I might even put it into gave me a boo-boo.
It's almost controversial to even call this a limit break.
I mean, for that reason, though, I'd put it into gave me a boo-boo.
Do you mind if I quickly go and fetch something?
In case you don't know, NG Plus has a huge collection of bones. He actually cosplays as a dog, specifically the dog from Duck Hunt. Every weekend, he and Gina, they go out to a nice farm out in Cornwall. They have 2 trainers that throw bones for them. They fetch them. They actually supply the bones themselves. What did you fetch? It wasn't a bone, I know that.
A water bottle that my wife got me for my birthday with my name and logo on it.
Okay, where would you put this, Nathan?
It's gotta go low. Gave me a boo-boo.
I'll actually do Realm and Strago. I think it's maybe worse because it won't hit bosses.
Counterpoint. It's instant death. By definition, that is you did a murder.
We will put it in You Did a Murder for the meme. I'm open to creating more categories if they're necessary.
Because you don't have enough.
Well, we have 101 things to rank. Claude or Clued, one more category, NFE, which is in Pokemon terms not fully evolved, and that's actually where I think Braver goes. It does some damage. It's not meant to be an incredible limit break, however.
Cross slash is going higher for sure.
Yes, it is, because cross slash causes stop
Paralysis.
How high does it go though, really?
In my challenge run, cross slash came to the dance heavy because the paralysis can mess up the AI for some of the bosses. You know the last number?
Yes. Oh, does it stop him from transforming?
If the attack that you hit him with is cross slash that puts him below half HP, he doesn't transform. But if you hit him while he's paralyzed, it also doesn't take it into account because he was paralyzed as he took another hit.
I think that definitely goes into at least Titanic Iceberg. Do you think it goes higher?
I do that because I think it's better than Strago's.
Blade Beam, actually kind of unique compared to the other ones because it hits something and then it splits into multiple different beams and does damage to everything else.
With Blade Beam for me is that it's an AoE limit, which early on Cloud doesn't get many of until Meteor Rain, like, you know, Meteor Rain's quite late in.
Yes.
But if you want to start learning level 3 limits with any character in Final Fantasy VII, you need to get kills with the particular character, and Blade Beam is that particular limit that can do AoE damage on weak mobs.
It's the facilitator limit break. I don't think it's better than cross slash based on what you're saying.
I don't think so either, but it's got utility, so I think it at least belongs in dislocated my shoulder.
Yeah, and I also think that this actually goes here. I know it technically did a murder.
You want Blade Beam to be better than the instant death.
I do. I don't think that a 16% chance of doing instant death is that good. Otherwise, everyone would summon Odin all the time in Final Fantasy IX. Where is Clim Hazard going to fall? It's a single target attack, but is Omni Slash an upgraded version of Clim Hazard?
Kind of, except it's multi-hit, so you can break the damage limit very easily with it.
Which I think to me says this is not fully evolved. Meteor Rain.
Obviously, again, it's multi-hit. The hits target all targets, but randomly. So you can't do the same level of damage to every target like Finishing Touch could.
If it's a boss, though, this becomes actually pretty powerful. Actually,
single target boss, yeah.
When I did Cloud only, this was the only way to get through Rufus. Rufus will encase your characters in a pyramid, which is an immediate game over.
Oh, you're talking about Reno, not Rufus.
I'm sorry, Reno.
That's crazy that you couldn't one-shot him with Clim Hazard at that point.
Meteor Rain was really the only way to do it.
That's a lot of kills you must have grinded. I'm tempted to put it above Blade Beam personally, but I still don't think it outclasses classes cross-slash.
I think You Did a Murder is a great place to put it. Finishing Touch.
Finishing Touch is just AoE damage, and it's consistent damage across all targets in the fight. In my casual playthroughs, I never have a use for it, but I actually did find a use for it in my limit-only run. When you're in the Northern Crater...
I really don't want to talk about my Northern Crater.
I believe the enemies are called movers, and I believe if you kill them, you get a ridiculous amount of AP. And Meteor Rain has a chance to miss one of them, for example, but Finishing Touch hits all three of them for consistent damage and kills them all.
So what you're saying is you like to use your Finishing Touch on orange balls.
3 of them, yes.
Yeah, I don't know many
3
people who have 3 orange balls, but if I find someone, I'll know who to call. For me, it's about the same as Meteor Rain. It does damage and it finishes things off, which I'm also very good at, I will say. So I identify with this limit break.
Meteor Rain is better against single targets, though, because it does a lot more damage. I think Finishing Touch is more situational.
Do you think it still goes in You Did a Murder? I mean, if you're finishing it, you're still doing a murder. You love your literalisms.
I'm almost tempted to put Cross Slash and Meteor Rain both upper level and then slot this in between Meteor Rain and Blade Beam.
And then there's Omni Slash. It does 15 hits. They all critical automatically. I did see you beat Ruby Weapon with basically only Mime and Linked Counter.
Classic strategy.
But what that told me is, unless you're fighting a super boss, everything is going to die to this.
I think the only thing that deals more actual hits or just as many hits or close to as many hits would be Knights of the Round.
There are things that do as many hits, and we will get to them, but most of them have a lower power level. It's either in Existence Ended or Solar System Destroyed.
I think we'll leave it in Solar System, and then we'll potentially bump it up if we can't find anything else that's worthy of Existence Ended.
Oh, see, I'm actually in favor of putting it in Existence Ended, because I truly think...
I'm with you. This is your list.
It's our list.
It definitely goes in between those two, and it's got to land in one of them.
I'm going to put it in Existence Ended. Now we actually get to move on to another friend, Barrett. Let's talk about Big Shot first. You're drunk after this one.
It's literally just Braver again, isn't it?
Which to me says it goes into Not Fully Evolved, which I think means we go on to Mind Blow, which is another excellent type of blow. It happens to me often when I do a challenge run. That's not where you think I thought I was going to go with that, was it?
That is not. You want to know what I made use of it for? You know the Raps boss fight when you're trying to rescue Yuffie and Wutai? It depletes his MP completely in one hit, and he no longer can use Aero 3.
Did you not have anything that would allow you to absorb wind at that point?
I did it as soon as possible, so maybe I didn't. And how many bosses are even susceptible to Mind Blow? That's like one of the only ones. There's another thing as well. When you learn it for the first time in your first ever playthrough, and then you realize, so Cloud gets Cross Slash, and the big muscular guy with a gun for an arm does MP damage. What's that about?
I think it goes into Gave Me a Boo-Boo. I know that it has some situational use, but at the same time, like, yes, you can nerf a boss, but then, like, everybody else still has to kill it.
Almost tempted to say, does that count? But I'll go with Boo-Boo for now.
I mean, it is a limit break.
Does that count literally means, like, this is barely a limit break.
Like, barely fits the criteria, and I don't even know if it should be on this list.
I thought it was what the enemy would say after they got hit by it. They'd be like, really? Does that count?
You know, we could have a different row. We could have one that's like, is it in yet? Right? Like that.
Mind Blow goes in the is it in yet category.
I guess it wouldn't be the enemy that's saying that. It would be Barrett saying it to the enemy. I don't mean to shame those with small phalluses. Is it in yet?
Not that we know anyone like that.
You all have humongous penises. Every single person in the chat. Gender is not material.
Are we also considering how cool the animation is?
I think so. I mean, like, Omni Slash has one of the coolest animations ever, right? It makes Cloud look like a complete Giga Chad.
I think Finishing Touch has a relatively disappointing animation.
With a game like Finishing Touch, I'd expect a huge kaboom, if you know what I mean.
Almost making me tempted to put Finishing Touch in is it in yet?
So how about Grenade Bomb, though?
I used it. It's an AoE limit. Final Fantasy VII, if you want to go from one tier to the next, you've got to get a specific number of kills with that character. And AoE limits farmed against mobs of enemies when there's like 6 or whatever in one single fight racks up them kills fast.
So do you think it dislocates a shoulder?
Or at least.
We'll go there for now.
It dislocated Reno's shoulder when I used it.
So did your Hammer Blow.
Speaking of Hammer Blow, I don't think I've ever used it.
I don't think I've ever used it either. Hammer Blow is just damage, right? The only one who really knows is
Final Fantasy Wiki right now are like, why is everyone crowding the Hammer Blow page? It inflicts death to an enemy.
It does something different. So we could say it did a murder if we want to be literal, right?
Quote unquote ejects.
But like, it's not going to work on bosses. I just realized I have a cat here. We have to have the cat on screen. Look at this gorgeous kitty. Isn't she so cute? We'll put her right there. She's in the Existence Ended tier. Look at her little paw. Look at that. Yeah. So Hammer Blow, are we saying dislocated my shoulder?
Or did a murder because it literally causes death.
Okay, sure. I don't know if it really belongs there, but it technically did do a murder.
It probably doesn't belong there because Grenade Bomb probably slightly better.
Okay, we'll put it here then.
Put it in Gave Me a Boo-Boo because that's where Stragos is.
Next is Satellite Beam.
Decent damage, AoE.
I mean, I think it can go into You Did a Murder, right? It's good. Is it better than Grenade Bomb?
It's got more damage, but it takes longer to charge the limit for it because it's a level above.
But if it's just AoE damage and Grenade Bomb does AoE damage, damage. Does that mean that Grenade Bomb is NFE?
It always crits, apparently, Satellite Beam. It could probably go in dislocated a shoulder.
That just feels like Grenade Bomb is NFE.
no.
It does like the same thing, right? That's going down there. This is Piplup and this is Empoleon.
That's harsh, because obviously Grenade Bomb, you learn it much quicker.
Okay, fine. Then this is Prinplup. Next up is Anger Max. Yeah.
Fantastic limit.
This does
That damage.
18 hits.
Randomly across all the targets.
It's going to go up high.
It belongs with Meteor Rain.
But does it do... I think it does more than Meteor Rain at max power. I think it
If you-
belongs higher.
By total damage, it can do more than Catastrophe.
I think it can do more than Omni Slash, technically. It's just unlikely because of the crits. And Anger Max charges more quickly. For now, let's leave it in Solar System Destroyed, because I do think Omni Slash is a better limit break, even though Anger Max can do more damage. And then the final one is Catastrophe. Catastrophe is 10 physical attacks. Ooh, that sucks. Random enemies.
If the enemy's by himself, it's just one enemy, then it's a lot of damage.
But I think Anger
Anger
Max
Max.
would do more damage than it.
If your stats were high enough, yeah.
But now we're on to Tifa.
You're a fan of
NFE.
mine.
NFE, 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 because if you get Final Heaven, you get to use all of them.
Is there no budget this time around?
Now, if this was my list, bottom to top, the first one to the last one, Beat Rush gave me a boo-boo, Somersault dislocated my shoulder, and just go one up with each one because you are using them all.
Successively
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
Beat Rush,
Eat because
Somersault,
you do it.
Water Kick is
Water
next.
Kick.
Meteor
Then it's
Drive
Meteor
is
Drive.
next. Dolphin Blow, Meteor Strike.
And then
Oops.
Final Heaven.
Okay, those three are right.
I like
Meteor
the meme
Drive,
of them all just being one slightly better than the last.
but like Final Heaven isn't going into existence ended.
And notch them all down one.
Okay, fine. I think Final Heaven is more Earth Ravaged. I don't think it's as good as
Well, I tell you
Anger
what, then,
Max.
put Beat Rush in Not Fully Evolved.
I'm at peace with that.
Let's not also forget you can miss them, right?
Yeah, that sucks.
You can get, so as far as I'm aware, the Power Soul does more damage if Tifa, I think, is in low HP, critical HP, but it does even more damage if she's also got Death Sentence. You can do like 8 times damage with her physical attack, with Death Blow and the Power Soul. Here's something else. This does not apply to her limits. I hated
that.
it too.
Let's go on to Aerith.
In my limit-only run, I could only use Healing Wind and Seal Evil. Well,
She never leaves my party, so...
It wasn't even a question of whether she stays in the party or not for me. People in FF7 only learn level 2 and level 3 limits when they get a certain number of kills. If I'm doing limits only, she can only use Healing Wind or Seal Evil, neither of which can do damage.
So you're saying you hate Aerith?
I'm saying I couldn't get any kills, so I couldn't learn anything beyond level 2.
Everyone at NG Plus hates Aerith.
Doesn't matter, she's not around anymore.
She loves a pool party. She's an amazing swimmer. Have you seen her do a dead man's float? Really
I saw her do the Haley Joel Osment in the movie AI.
Did you know she was on the Titanic?
Was.
She still is on the Titanic, actually.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Let's start with Healing Wind, which
Fantastic limit.
it heals you.
It heals you by the exact same amount every time. It's 50% of max HP.
I feel bad putting it in You Did a Murder.
No, it goes way above that.
Thank God, because it would have been a little bit weird to put it in that tier.
If the bar's full and you find yourself in that situation, it's just quick and easy just to go XX done.
You know what? I actually will put her in Titanic Iceberg. Seal Evil.
yeah.
I don't remember at all what that does.
can't even remember what it looks like.
Cast Stop and Silence on all enemies. I guess it could be helpful if you want to use Death Blow on stuff. Oh my God, even the wiki says Healing Wind is a better choice. The wiki says, is it in yet? Is it in yet? Is it in yet?
There must be something that it's useful for. The next one's Breath of the Earth.
If you're at Mount Vesuvius, that's just a whole lot of ash. Calm your ash down.
All right, Beyonce, calm your ass down.
It cures a party member of sleep, poison, sadness, fury, confusion, silence, slow, stop, frogs, small, everything, paralysis,
it
darkness,
do-
petrified, numb.
Does it do anything else?
It removes every negative status, but the problem is Fury can be sometimes considered a positive status in situations.
Well, same
especially
with
during my run.
Sadness. I found that Sadness was extremely impactful.
Depends what you're doing.
Especially in a solo challenge, I use it to not over level and to prevent damage from things like rocks. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, when rock hit you, it bad.
Someone's described it perfectly. It's the opposite of bad breath.
I don't think it's good. Is it in yet? Oh no,
Fury
the next one
Brand
does not heal.
fills up the other two party members' limit gauges fully.
Would have been useful in your run, perhaps.
But I wouldn't have been allowed to learn it. I couldn't learn anything beyond Seal Evil.
You
with
did
Aerith.
say that, but as a man, I'm a terrible listener.
Now, what is good about Fury Brand, if you spam limits, say you use 3 or 2 limits in a row, they will always take place back to back. The only exception to that is counterattack. So if the first limit gets countered, that will take place before the second limit. So if you use Fury Brand and then spam the other two characters' limits, they're guaranteed to have them back to back.
Where do you think this belongs?
You did a murder, maybe? If I was allowed to learn it in my run, it would have been a godsend.
I mean, the challenge that you did, it was, does that even count? Because you couldn't learn it. I don't think we can use your run as a metric for this one. Makes me put it even lower. I think dislocated a shoulder.
All right, fair. Somewhere in between.
Pulse of Life restores everybody's HP.
I'm just looking it up. It says second level 3 limit.
This is the part where I say I was wrong. I have a problem with these. Planet Protector grants the entire party invincibility. Pulse of Life heals the entire party. But then Great Gospel, the level 4, does both. When I have actually used specifically Planet Protector, what I found was I would have a party that was near death, and this was partly because I wasn't very good at the game, let's be real here. And then when the invincibility wore off, I'd be fucked.
So what you're saying is the Planet Protector, Pulse of Life, and Great Gospel in that order. Keep in mind, you don't get Great Gospel for very long in the game, do you?
What do you mean? I keep Aerith in my party for the entire game. What do you mean?
My game must have glitched. She disappeared after a certain point.
I love being alive.
You cannot restore health while invincible. It is good. I mean, invincibility is a very good effect. I just don't think it's that good. And I kind of want to put it in dislocated my shoulder, but below Fury Brand.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Pulse of
And
Life,
Pulse of Life is to go above.
it goes above.
Twice as good as Healing Wind, but it takes longer to actually fill the bar up. Because you can get Healing Wind more regularly. You could probably use Healing Wind twice by the time you get a single Pulse of Life.
Nobody can be at 0 health, right?
Ooh, hang on a minute. Pulse of Life even revives the dead.
Oh, it does? If your characters are dying, usually something's wrong. So
Something's wrong, so use Pulse of Life and bring them back.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. I still think Healing Wind is better. Although I guess if you don't need Pulse of Life, then you could use Planet Protector, which is useful.
If only she used it on herself before the pool party.
If only. What I learned from Final Fantasy VII is never swim unless there's a lifeguard. What I want to do is I want to put Healing Wind here. But is it as good as Final Heaven or Catastrophe?
I use it a lot more often.
But Great Gospel is actually still really great.
Maybe it belongs on par with Pulse of Life for that reason.
Yeah, Red 13. I'll be honest, I am not really a Red 13 user.
I am. And by that, I mean I've at least used up to level 2 or 3.
Excuse me, guys, I have a little bit of a cold, so if you hear me making loud noises, I'm either blowing my nose or I'm dead.
I think Steadfang does belong relatively high.
Same as Cloud's Braver, it's just damage.
Well, if Bloodfang does 3 times damage but also absorbs health, then by your standards, it belongs in Not Fully Evolved.
Lunatic High.
Just haste and defense buff for red.
I never use this.
I think I used it and I was like, what did that do?
I want to put this one on, is it in yet? Is it? Where is it? Next up is Bloodfang, which is actually a very good limit break.
1.25 times is normal physical damage, but it heals HP and MP for 25% of the damage dealt. It makes it unique, right? So there's that.
I mean, it's going to be somewhere up here. You did a murder, maybe.
You're never going to use it for the pure damage because it's so much weaker than Steadfang.
Stardust Ray.
All enemies hits 10 times randomly for 5/8 of his normal damage for each hit.
That's a really good level 2.
Yeah, for level 2, that's not bad.
I mean, doesn't Omni Slash only do 0.75? And this does 10 hits for 5/8?
above half.
Like, this is great.
Yeah, 5/8.
This is actually a great limit break. You could use this late in game if you wanted to.
You could even use it to farm kills from mobs to learn the next limit level.
I've underestimated him. I think this is like somewhere up here. Which tier do you think it goes into?
I don't think we want to go crazy. I think we'll put it in the Titanic.
Like, now that I look at that, I'm like, why didn't I use that more often? God damn. Howling Moon.
Now
7.
this applies haste and berserk. It also gives him a 60% boost to his defense.
It leaves the rest of the party free to do whatever they want. I still don't like losing control of him. I like the effect. I think it's above gave me a boo-boo.
If he's a strong attacker, he gets the boost from berserk and he has haste, so he auto attacks really fast.
Does that sound good?
Above dislocate my shoulder because it sounds like it would hurt if this hit you.
Okay, so did a murder?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay. Earth Rave. 5 attacks to random enemies doing 1.875 times the damage.
1.875. That's so specific. This
Divide-
doesn't seem that good to me. Am I crazy?
No, it seems bad.
5 hits?
So this does about double the damage of
Stardust Ray?
Stardust Ray, but it has fewer hits.
Obviously, if your strength was really high, Stardust Ray could potentially do more damage overall, but that's a long way away, and at that point, you've got better limits anyway, maybe.
I think it's okay. I think it dislocated a shoulder compared to the other things here.
You've got a tier called Earth Ravage, and this is called Earth Rave.
And yet it's not going into Earth Ravage.
Doesn't deserve to.
He did not Earth Ravage with this. He went to a party and danced and dislocated his shoulder. And the final one is Cosmo Memory.
It hits all enemies for 7.8125 times base damage.
One time?
All enemies.
Just one time?
Yes, but it is damn near 8 times the damage.
Boo-boo.
But it can cap out to 9999 pretty early.
Once you get this, you will have to have used his limit breaks a bajillion times, destroyed a bajillion enemies. Why is this so bad? Boo-boo.
The only use for this I can think of is farming kills to learn the next level.
This is level 4.
This is level 4. No, why would you use this?
Is it in yet? Is it in yet? The best way to detect whether it's in yet is to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks. It helps the channel a lot.
the youth.
Grease lightning. It's damage.
Damage, and the fact that you have the choice of heal or damage, can't argue with that.
I mean, there are better things that do the same thing.
Clear Tranquil
And-
is identical to Healing Wind. And the only downside is that you have to use Grease Lightning like 9 times to learn it, whereas
I mean-
Aerith starts with hers.
Boo-hoo. When I watched your Final Fantasy VII challenge of this, it was like, yep, you need that. You can't live without that.
Without youth, I wouldn't have survived. What the hell does Landscaper do? Earth Elemental, attack that hits all enemies 3 times, but it always misses flying targets.
I'm gonna say NFE. It's just damage.
Very situational. Is Bloodfest next? It deals 10 randomly distributed hits, with each hit being equivalent to 0.625 her normal damage, giving it an identical effect to Red 13's Stardust Ray.
That's not bad.
For level 2, that's not bad at all. It belongs up there with Stardust Ray.
I think so. Gauntlet is Landscaper, just non-elemental.
For physical attack, all enemies for 1.75 times normal damage, and it ignores the enemy's defense stat when doing so, and it always crits.
What's funny is, isn't All Creation also just a single hit? So All Creation is her final one, and it does a physical attack that hits all enemies for 8 times Yuffie's base damage. Hits everyone for 8 times her normal damage. 1 time. Similar to Cosmo Memory. It's literally the same thing. So she has 3 limit breaks that just do 1 hit of big PP damage.
Does that make it just as bad as Cosmo Memory, though?
I think it might make it worse. I would say Gauntlet is better than All Creation.
It's almost like All Creation is the one that's not fully evolved, and they got the order roll.
So I'm going to put that in Is It In Yet? And then Gauntlet, what's the damage multiplier? What did you say it was?
1.75.
So it ends up being what, like 4-ish? Once you're maxing out stats with you, does it matter that much? Especially since it ignores defense.
I'd put Gauntlet high for sure.
I think you did a murder. Let's move on to Doom of the Living. Doom of the Living is actually pretty amazing. It is very similar to Barrett's Anger Max.
Let's find out what this thing does.
It's 18 hits.
Actually, this says 15 hits.
It's really only 15 hits? That's disappointing.
Four
Omni
times.
Slash also hits 15 times. Okay, this is definitely worse than Omni Slash, except you can use it more often. I think it's worse than Anger Max because Anger Max has more hits. I think that's where it goes. It's still great. Makes me reconsider what I put in the Ninja video.
I'm just
Because
debating whether or not I put it on the same level as Healing Wind, but as long as it's below Healing Wind, I'm fine with that.
You know what? We'll put it in your Bloodfest.
Like
Dice.
By default, you roll 2 dice. It multiplies the result by 10 and does that much damage. But if you roll doubles, it doubles the damage. When you get to level 30, it becomes 3 dice. Level 40 is 4 dice. 50 is 5 dice. That was memory, by the way.
Not Cosmo Memory.
That was off the top of the noggin.
So a bit of a mind blow.
So by default, it can do up to 2,400 damage if you get a double 6. Solve my demon wall problem.
How many times did you have to RNGify that, though?
A fair few.
I don't like when things are randomized. It's going to go somewhere here.
It's weird because it almost like it belongs exactly dead in the middle. Yeah, it either lets you down or it saves your life. So when it comes to Boo Boo and the top one, what's perfectly in the middle of that? You did a murder?
So I accept you did a murder. Next up is slots. I have one of the most gorgeous slots ever, but we're talking about Cait.
This is a strange one. It has a lot of different effects.
So what I see, crown, 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 you get 5 times normal damage. Star, star, star is healing HP and MP.
There's also one that gives you automatic crits for the rest of the fight, I think.
Ooh, yeah, that's heart, heart, heart. That's the lucky girl. There's also the giant Moogle thing. Face, face, face is game over. Oh, wait, no. Face, face, face is instant death to all enemies. Face, face, bar. All allies are instantly killed.
I think you're just as likely to instant win. And you said you don't like gambling, so I don't know how you feel about this.
I don't love this overall.
You're manipulating slots. You can basically use it to win every single fight in the game. I know how to manipulate the slots. It's not too bad.
And then everything else is a toy box, and you drop some sort of object on the enemy. So if you're not getting a matched thing, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's more powerful to just be able to click a button and have an effect.
It almost like it belongs in IDFK, because who knows?
I'm at peace with that. I don't know.
That's our way out.
We have Vincenzo. I don't really like Vincent's limit breaks very much. Galleon Beast.
While he is in the Galleon Beast form, he will attack with either Berserk Dance or Beast Flare.
And Beast Flare is fire. So I hate this. If you're like me, when I was a young child, I used Galleon Beast on Materia Keeper. And so what I found was that because I couldn't control Vincent, Vincent was just healing the monster, and then Vincent couldn't die, and I ultimately got soft lock, and I had to reset the game. I hate Galleon Beast.
That's a personal story for you, isn't it?
I also hate Death Gigas.
Is it like a similar deal, but it's Thunder? In this form, he will either use Giga Dunk or Live Wire. Maybe
Vincent
we'll find
in the back
one that
row.
changes your mind if we keep going.
I'm not an open-minded person.
Giga Dunk is a physical attack that does 2 5/8 times normal damage to a single target, and he uses it 70% of the time. The other
Not too
30% is Live Wire, which is electric damage to all targets, equal to 4 3/8 times normal damage.
That's quite powerful. But so many of these you don't have to plan around. You can literally just hit the limit break button and it does a thing. But I guess if you have Vincent and you're willing to just have everybody else support him, he can just wreck everything.
Somebody raises a very important question. Where are Cid's limits?
Shit. I'll add it at the end. Wow.
So you don't think the winner is worthy? That's crazy.
Where are you putting Death Gigas?
I don't know. Where are you putting the Death Gigas?
Boo-boo.
I think maybe even like shoulder.
That works. Are you ready
But-
for Hellmasker? It increases his defense and magic defense by 50%. He will attack with either Splatter Combo or Nightmare.
Splatter combo, so clearly he got affected by finishing touch.
Especially if it was a combo. Multiple's not easy.
Multiples
It's
for a
physical
man?
attack.
Tough.
It's a physical attack, or is it would feel like that if you're in the line of fire?
The line of fire.
Yeah, to 5 random targets, the lucky bastard. He broke my record.
Isn't Gina in the chat?
Or we can use Nightmare, which inflicts sleep, poison, confuse, silence, frog, and small. Maybe it's good for the arena? I don't know.
That's useless on bosses, which means it's actually worse than Death Gigas, I think.
I'm just speculating, but if you use this at the beginning of the arena, does it stick for the entire arena?
Well, I don't know the answer to that.
70% of the time you're doing damage, and the other 30% of the time you're just completely, like, nerfing enemies with these status effects. This feels like it was made for the arena.
I
I'm just sort of
still
speaking-
don't think it's as good as Death Gigas.
It's a one-trick pony. I was debating Boo Boo. I'm thinking Boo Boo.
Hey, boo-boo, let's see what we got in this picnic basket.
So our last one is Chaos. You guys, how did I miss Cid's limit breaks, by the way? How did I not put Cid there? That's incredible.
Chaos doubles his defense and magic defense. He would attack with either Chaos Saber or Satan Slam. Chaos Saber inflicts physical damage equal to 2.5 to all enemies. But Satan Slam instantly kills all enemies, and any enemy that is immune to instant death will instead take non-elemental damage equal to 5 and 5/8 times the power of Vincent's normal attack. I kind of want to put this in Earth Ravaged.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's go to Renzoku Ken. I always called it Renzo Zuken as a kid because I'm uneducated.
Just
But
call it Renzo.
does somewhere between 4 to 8 hits of damage initially. So once you max it out, you have some chance based on your crisis level of doing a finishing move. However, it is a 25% chance of using the one that you actually want to use, which is Lionheart. As far as I know, there is no way to increase that chance greater than 25%. And otherwise, you're doing not much extra damage with it.
So you're saying that the crisis level doesn't influence which finisher actually happens?
My understanding is that it does not. Lionheart is randomly selected, but your chance of doing a finishing move is affected by your crisis level. And that is why I am not the hugest fan of Renzo. It still does a bunch of damage.
I like Fated Circle and Blasting Zones animations as well.
I
But
really
don't
like
think you
Blasting Zones animation. That's actually my favorite. I love that he just sort of destroys the entire world with his sword beams.
I love how
It's a
little
bit
sense it
silly.
makes. If you use it on the Ragnarok when you're in space, it still comes out of the planet. You're like, what?
I think Solar System destroyed.
I think Lionheart is too good. I know
Okay.
it's only a quarter chance. When it happens, it's a moment.
So now
But-
let's talk about somebody who is not destroying the solar system, which is Quistis.
All right, well, I'll say this. She's broken. Degenerator? You can learn Degenerator on Disc 1, and you can win literally every single random encounter in the entire game with it.
Really nothing except bosses resist it. And some bosses don't resist it. The oil
Oil
boils
boils
don't
resist
resist
it.
it, which is so stupid. I don't know why they did that, but they did that.
Shockwave Pulsar breaks the damage limit, which not many things in FF8 do.
It's not the biggest damage nuke in the game. She's like somewhere here.
I just think for being able to win every single random encounter in the entire game in one move is kind of ridiculous.
Do you think Earth Ravaged?
Yeah, we'll leave it Earth Ravaged.
Yeah, because she certainly didn't destroy the moon. That was Sorceress Adele. How about Zell? Because I know my answer to
Now,
this one.
you can use any of his abilities in the entire game before you actually learn about them in the magazines. As long as you know the combos without actually being able to see them.
My favorite part of Zell is that if you are fast and you just do 2 commands over and over, he effectively has infinite damage and can do more damage than Squall.
I agree with you. Meteor Strike does gravity damage. More things are weak to gravity in FF8 than you'd think. Almost every humanoid enemy, so Edea, Cypher, Raijin, Fujin, as well as Mobile Type 8, you can do Meteor Strike multiple times in a fight.
You kill anything. To me, it goes
No, no.
literally the highest. It's up here. There's really not anything in the game that comes close to what Zell can do. I think it's kind of boring, actually. actually how completely broken it is. Next up is Selphie and her slots. I don't think that Selphie's limit break is that good. I think it's very good. The end is very useful.
This is tough because I also know how to manipulate the end every time.
And I beat Final Fantasy VIII with only Selphie, and I actually beat Ultimisia with only the ends because I just wanted to see if it was possible, which it was.
If you can keep an animation occurring on screen, it's easier to manipulate them. So the longest animations is the best. That's why I would use Renzo with Squall, but I would turn off in the settings the QuickTime event thing. And after he's finished, with my crisis level high enough, he's got a 3/4 chance to use Fated Circle, Blasting Zone, or Lionheart, all of which are very long animations, giving you more than long enough to find the end. Because the limit breaks happen back to back with no interruptions unless you get countered, the end will always happen directly after the animation you've started. In between, I think something like level 40 and 80, she can't get the end at all.
I kind of want to put it at You Did a Murder. She also has some unique spells that are fun. Rapture, as long as things aren't immune to death, just takes them out of the battle. The end is also murder.
It's a guaranteed murder, so...
You force the enemies to touch grass, which to most nerds is murder. And then she has Wall, which does Shell and Protect. Not as impactful, but still can be really helpful. And Full Cure. The status curing from Full Cure, nobody else can do while healing HP. Renoir, it rhymes with quinoa. How about Angelo, though? It's another one where I don't like the randomness of it. It does have Shooting Star.
You can manipulate your own level of crisis to make it more likely for certain things to happen. Invincible Moon is the big one. Oh yeah, like any challenge runs where you're like one hit away from death, you could Invincible Moon your way to victory. And you don't even have to kill off your team, you can just inflict them with status effects.
My problem with Invincible Moon, or at least in like a more casual playthrough, is it prevents you from putting aura back on your characters while it's active.
Do you know that aura just simply increases that person's crisis level?
I think that's one of the coolest spells in all of Final Fantasy. I'm planning a video where I do the best spell from every Final Fantasy, and I'm almost certain that aura is going to be one of the top two from this game, aura or Meteor.
Meltdown's good as well. That's underrated.
I think Angelo is somewhere in this like top middle.
I think it needs to be mentioned the way that you learn new Angelo limits. You have to set them on Renoa's status screen and then literally go for a walk.
Well, you gotta walk the dog. Angel Wing is actually maybe one of my favorite limit breaks in all of Final Fantasy. It is a berserk for magic. When Renoir uses it, she gets 5 times magic damage and enters a berserk state where she randomly uses an offensive or status spell. The random part might seem bad, but it is so easy to optimize this. You just take everything except Meteor out of her spell list, have somebody else melt down the enemy, and then she goes crazy. She just casts Meteor over and over and over, dealing insane amounts of damage. If she has haste, she actually just like does damage faster than anyone else can except Zell. Zell is the only one who can technically do better than she does. Angel Wing is going to be here because it really is that good.
I think the only reason it doesn't belong in Existence Ended is because she's stuck. It's the one tiny weakness.
Shot is next.
I like Shot, but I hate having to buy the ammo every time or refine the ammo.
That is fair, but once you get the access to Cactuar cards, it's basically infinite.
What I like about Shot is that during the limit, if your attacks start to do 0 damage, you know that enemy's dead. Target one enemy, and as soon as your hits start doing 0, you can switch to the next one because you know that it's wasted ammo from then on. I'd put it in Titanic personally.
Okay, then I think I'm going to average it out and put it here. It can do about as much as Squall does, as long as Squall doesn't get Lionheart, in which case he wrecks everything. Next up is everyone else. At the beginning of the game, you can use Cypher or Cipher.
You see, Cypher, I'm a really big fan.
Is Firecross and No Mercy, are they the same thing?
Firecross is the category under which No Mercy falls. Believe it or not, Cypher actually has other limit breaks. Only he can use them. You can't use them.
What are they?
So Demon Slice is his second one.
That's
and
a
the third
name.
one is Bloodfest.
Yeah, that's familiar
in the
names.
Lunatic Pandora, and he has to be at low HP. I almost think this belongs in the no tier because we don't know what the power of his other limit breaks would be.
We've got no way of ourselves, unless you hack, I guess. We've got no way of exploring their potential.
No way. I still think I don't know. Let's do Adia next. It's just Ice Strike. It's the same as No Mercy. The category is sorcery. I'm going to say, is it in yet?
I think it has some use here and there, maybe for Abaddon, but...
So maybe it goes and gave me a boo-boo.
It's better than Mind Blow. Desperado looks cool as hell. It does hit all targets, I believe.
I say we put it dislocated the shoulder. And then Massive Anchor is the same, right?
But it doesn't look as cool.
Gave me a boo-boo then. And then we get Blood Pain. I do not know why they gave Kyros the Blood Pain limit break, because the Blood Pain Pain Limit Break is kind of an Omni Slash.
It does fewer hits, so if you can max out his stats, he can do more damage overall, but only to a single target.
I wish that in the new game, like they had a New Game Plus where you could just play as that trio for the entire game.
Someone should mod that.
6 hits of non-elemental damage. It can crit. It's based on strength. So you max out his strength and it's going to do a ton of damage. So it's actually quite powerful.
Do you prefer multiple hits on one target or one hit on multiple targets?
Multiple hits on one target. If you have multiple targets, you can do something else.
You would want Blood Pain to at least be You Did a Murder?
I think it could even go to Titanic Iceberg.
I'm willing to meet you on that one.
What about potatoes? Will you potato me on it?
Yeah.
Well, let's mash. Let's start with Quina, because she ate. Quina left no crumbs.
She can eat the enemy. Instead of them needing to have less than 25% HP, they can just have less than half.
There is one utility for this, and it is in the battle with Earth Guardian, because she
Yes.
can eat the Earth Guardian. I don't know why. Maybe they just wanted to give you an easy way to learn Earthshake. That was part of the plot.
The only reason I can think of why is because it's the only forced fight that I think she ever has to beat. Well, okay, that's not true, because she's in, like, the Lanny boss fight, I think.
Oh, and also, You Are Not Alone, the big bug. That fight I have died on many, many times in challenge runs. I don't think it's useless. It's just because it's trance, it's inherently flawed.
Yes, but that same applies to all of them in that respect. Are we penalizing them for this reason?
A little bit, because we're ranking these all against each other, too. It's not just how they are in their individual game.
It's going to be interesting to see what the highest FF9 one is.
I think I know what it is for me, but I think this one goes into Dislocated a Shoulder. I think for Quina, at least, they should have let you, like, store one eat.
I think they should make it 100%.
Oh, so you can kill anything that's edible in just one hit.
If the enemy is edible, trance should make it 100%.
Zidane.
When he's in trance and he obtains the Dying ability, this might be really obvious to some people, but the skills that Zidane learns transforms into the Dying ability. You get a weapon called the Ogre when you first get to Limbloom, and as soon as you get that, I can't remember what it's called, Shift Break I think it is, but it just decimates enemies early on.
Yeah, I put him in Titanic Iceberg. Steiner.
He literally just gets, I think, a 300% attack.
Everybody else gets 150%, he gets 300%. And actually, it's kind of a powerful boost.
I'm not a fan of it not being very unique.
It is not very unique. And the bigger problem for me is that later in the game, when he gets his strongest weapons, it doesn't change anything. He can damage cap with his regular attacks with like Excalibur 2 per se. I think for me, it goes into like the You Did a Murder tier, because he can definitely murder. He whacks off things with his sword.
Phrasing?
I don't know if this is something you want to count against trance in general. Final Fantasy IX obviously deals in very limited numbers when it comes to boss HP. The strongest or most amount of HP any boss ever has is around about 65,000. For that reason, not a single ability in the game does multi-hits.
In a way, 2 abilities do. Our next one is Vivi. Yes, there is nothing that can actually do multiple hits, except, and we'll talk about them together, double black magic and double white magic. Double black magic is the strongest limit break in this game.
AoE magic to hit all targets for max damage twice.
You can do that, yes. Doomsday is one of the things that affects it because you can absorb dark. I'm saying it because of Reflect times 2. So Reflect times 2 is an ability that you get from the black robe, and basically if Vivi blasts his magic and hits a reflect shield, it doubles the power of it, which is an enormous boost and allows him to damage cap in the game much earlier and with some much weaker magic, so he doesn't have to wait until his stats are all maximized to damage cap. And he can do it twice.
Can Eco learn that as well?
No. But Eiko can do really great holy damage, and if anything's weak against holy, they're getting nuked. But inside of trance, Vivi is like the clear winner of this entire game. He's the only character who can really consistently do 19,998 damage twice in a row.
What I also like about his double black magic, and I think this is something you can't do when you cast double in Final Fantasy VIII. You could pick different targets for each magic.
You can also choose different spells. Double in Final Fantasy VIII, you have to choose the same spell twice. And to me, actually, because enemies don't have much HP, it goes above Zidane.
In the context of Final Fantasy IX, maybe it's up there.
I don't think it's as good as Angel Wing. That's the problem. And then let's talk about Eiko, because Eiko gets trance and can use double white, and so I just said she can use double holy, but it's not quite as powerful. It's very powerful, especially if you're using something that enhances holy damage. And I think she goes right there. And now we go to Garnet.
This is actually another multi-hit one.
The way this trance works, it's called Eidolon. I think a lot of people think that it makes the long animation of the summon come up, giving it more power. But what it actually does is after you summon, whether you do it before you go into trance or during, Garnet's trance randomly just will cause the last thing you summoned to appear again and do damage.
Even after your trance runs out.
Oh, it's even after the trance runs out too? Oh, I didn't know that part.
Obviously, you don't get easily accessible summons until, like, in the middle of the second disc. Ramuh being the first.
You all heard that he said Ramuh. The pronunciation police are on my tail.
See, here's the thing. In Final Fantasy VIII, there's no voice acting, right? So saying it phonetically, it looks like it says Ifrit. I-F-R-I-T. Ifrit. But then you play Tales of games and they pronounce it Ifrit.
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 And then you play Final Fantasy X and they pronounce his name you. Where does trance go for Garnet?
I don't think I could put it higher than Zidane's.
I almost feel like it goes below Steiner and this goes down.
In my opinion, Quinna's is one of the more disappointing trances.
Is it in yet?
Possibly. It should
Yeah.
be 100%.
And I think
go
it
above
dislocated a
because-
shoulder. Freya.
Now, I don't dislike this. It looks cool, and it makes jump continuous and target all enemies.
And Freya's jump has one niche use that makes a solo run with her a lot easier against
Okay.
General Beatrix. If you jump with Freya and Freya is the only character alive, Beatrix is very strong but not so smart. Okay, maybe she's smart, but she's impatient. And so rather than wait to take her turn after you get down, she just takes it and does nothing. In the Beatrix battles, you just have to survive for 10 turns to win them. With Freya, that, if you're in trance, can become literally one, because you have to get hit to get into trance. But if Beatrix hits Freya, knocks her into trance, and she's ready to jump, it could just be over. Do I think that that puts it very high? No.
No, because it's not a very varied use case. I'm starting to realize something about FF9 trance. Almost every character was robbed. Zidane gets an entire list of different abilities. Literally everyone else just has a slight tweak to what they can already do.
They should be protesting. I don't know why you don't see them with signs saying trance is bad. Trance is bad. I think it's gave me a boo-boo because of that one niche use, Amarant. His monk skills now hit everybody,
That's what
which
it is.
actually does have some nice use case. I like how his name sounds so much better when a British person says it than when a United Statesian says it. Because when we say it, it's Amarant, and when you say it, it's Amarant. It's just better.
You can give auto a life to everyone.
That is actually broken, so maybe that makes him better than Garnet's. Then again, everyone can just get auto life at the beginning of battle anyway.
It is rare, but I think the same goes for any use case of any trance in the entire game, to be honest.
I don't think so, because the offensive ones, you can use them in any battle without any issue. When you get Steiners, I'm gonna whack you with my sword, and not in like a funny way where you have to report me to the Fed.
It is very situational.
I think it's better than hers.
Praise only one use case, but it can be used in every fight.
But he can also use No Mercy. He has other damaging things that are impacted by the
that's true,
trance.
actually.
I feel like he's here.
Okay,
Have I made
that's
one
fine.
convincing argument in this entire video? This is the only one. Tig, as you all know, is America's sweetheart. Spiral Cut.
It's just more damage. Spiral Cut is really good because the earlier ones that you learn, the weaker they are, the less delay you have to that character's next turn. One hit, good damage.
It's extremely useful. Is it like a world ender? No. So I think Titanic Iceberg. How about Slosh and Dosh?
Random target 6 times.
There was
I think
one
it
very
is-
important use case for it. The Extracto. And it actually is very useful because it can immediately bring it down from its elevated stance before it drops barrels on you.
I don't think I made use of it on that particular fight. I think the reason Slice and Dice is so good is because it can eventually out-damage Blitz Ace.
I think it's even better than Spiral Cut. You've got Earth.
Stick it there, why not?
Energy Rain is garbage. Overall, compared to the other two that we've just talked about, it's garbage.
I'm speaking purely from the point of view of I've done an overdrive only run and it saved my life against the underwater Sin Spawn fight after you fight Sin's Fin. Because he summons
Okay,
4
that's
fish.
interesting. And you have to kill them or else you just die.
You can use Energy Rain to efficiently kill those fish so they can never get an attack on you.
I'm going to let you run the show on this one. I think I'm biased against this one because I hate delay.
Put it and give me a boo-boo.
I influenced you. I'm an influencer.
I was
Sure, Jan.
tempted to go one higher, but then I was like, well, then where does Blitz Ace go?
You had actually convinced me that it should go higher than Boo Boo to dislocated my shoulder.
I don't mind putting it in shoulder.
Blitz Ace!
Blitz Ace is very good with downsides. It is extremely punishing in the delay, but it's also very powerful. And if you're against a single target that you just want dead, then it's great.
So when I did Titus only, Blitz Ace was essentially mandatory for Seymour Flux. That being said, yeah, the delay is rough.
If you're not using it to close a fight, you better be prepared to not get a turn for a while. Without it, I wouldn't have made it through my challenge run of overdrives only. The Dark Aeons and Penance specifically. Because you have to destroy the arms, and Blitz Ace is a single target, and you need big damage on one target, whereas Slice and Dice would randomly divide the damage across multiple targets.
I I would put it on a similar level to Spiral Cut.
Attack Wheels needs to go to the top. Yeah, that's no question.
Long story short, these are all just one hit. I think these are all gave me a boo-boo. And they're just immediately outclassed once you get the attack reels, which is pretty early.
It is the second one, and you can get it as early as you get access to Blitzball, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna bust my ball and put these all into gave me a boo-boo. I'm a big fan of furries. A lot of them follow me on Twitter.
Fury is interesting, because obviously you can get a lot of damage out of it, especially if they're weak to an element. Unfortunately, the further in the game you get, the more it falls off, because even though you can get more spins of it, once you get into like post-game shenanigans, everything's either resisting elements or you do less damage than what like attack reels could do, or anyone else who can break the damage limit. However, if you combine it with Trio of 9999, it's fantastic.
Trio of 9999 only increases to 4 9s, not 5, right?
It does, but you can get 16 spins. And with Trio, that's 160,000 damage. So even post-game, it has its uses. That makes it more damaging than attack reels, I believe, if you don't break the damage limit.
You did a murder?
Okay with that one.
Yana, no relation to Donna.
Grand Summon's great because it doesn't remove the Fury, the overdrive that Aeon already has. If they already have that overdrive and you Grand Summon, they can just use 2 overdrives on back-to-back turns. Do you want to know an interesting way to build up an Aeon's overdrive bar and keep it? If you fight a weak enemy and poison it, and then Grand Summon an Aeon, and then skip your turn until the enemy dies from poison, when the fight is over, the Aeon keeps the overdrive that you Grand Summon.
I remember this because you had a problem in your challenge because you weren't allowed to use the summon command. Summon is not an overdrive. Only Grand Summon is an overdrive. And so you would Grand Summon, then dismiss, and it would lose its overdrive. So this was your workaround, wasn't it?
You can just build up Unas, poison a dingo and Besaid, Grand Summon against it, and then just shield every turn until the poison kills the dingo. Then when the fight's over, Anima keeps the overdrive for the next fight.
I think the dingo ate your summon. Let's do Kamari really quickly. I don't know why I wrote Fury. I'm sorry that I wrote Fury on him. It should say Blue Magic. Does anything do more than 1 hit?
That's a good question.
Somebody let me know in the comments of this video. But I think for now, this goes and gave me a boo-boo because everything only does 1 hit, and it can be useful, especially early in the game, but then it's like a super big fall off, like worse than Lulu's fall off by far.
Self-destruct is good in speedrun.
Self-destruct is also great in a no sphere grid run where it can do about 3,000 damage, which is one of the highest amount of damage that you can do. I think I'm just gonna shoot my shot here and put it right here under the other reels of Waka.
I think he deserves to go 1 higher just because the bad breath. Using Lancet to learn something fills his overdrive bar as well.
Orin. So let's start with Dragon Fang.
AoE damage. It also delays the enemy.
So I say above Lulu, not above her tier.
I don't think it's gonna go above Grand Summon.
And that Grand Summon, we didn't even say where this is going. It's either Earth Ravaged or Solar System Destroyed. What's funny is I actually had to ban summoning in my no sphere grid challenge entirely.
I had to ban summoning in my overdrive challenge.
Even though Riku is the best character, I'd say Yuna is the most broken character. It's just I never use summons. Shooting Star. I love Shooting Star.
Actually, you know those enemies inside the sand pits in Beacon?
Oh, are they susceptible?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
You know what else is susceptible that you might not expect unless you've watched my video? Ochu in Kilika. You can send that mother flying.
I think this is better than Dragon Fang. The things that you can kill with Shooting Star in 1 hit are things that have so much HP that it just saves you so much time.
The thing is, they're completely different utilities. Shooting Star is there's one big giant enemy I want gone, and Dragon Fang is there's a whole gang of smaller enemies that I want gone. Feel free to put it above Dragon Fang though if you want.
It can only do 1 murder, so therefore it has to go and you did a murder. Banishing Blade is next.
Banishing Blade, in my humble opinion, needs to go pretty high. So not only does it do good damage to a single target, it inflicts full break 100% of the time if they're not immune to it.
I think in a non-challenge run, it's less useful. You can also have Riku just throw a frag grenade or something to get defense break or armor break.
Some enemies are immune to certain breaks. Very rarely is an enemy immune to all of them unless they're like a boss. And even them, not all bosses.
Are you saying hashtag not all bosses?
Of course.
Solar System? Earth Ravage? I think it's one of those. I think it's Earth Ravage.
I'm gonna go Solar System. It just became so handy. It literally got to a point where I was just like, every single challenge or boss that I had to come up against, it was like Banishing Bladed.
The last one is Tornado. And I have one thing to say about Tornado. Yeah, get out your pen and paper. I actually have a lot to say about this. You ready?
Go on. I had a feeling you wouldn't like it.
2 hits.
But
sorry.
Did you know it has the same level of delay as Blitz Ace?
Why? But why?
The only reason Tornado exists is that if you run into a random encounter that's got like 4 enemies in it, and Orin happens to have his overdrive, it's just the get these enemies out of my face button.
Get those enemies away from my face.
I see why it exists, but for most casual plays, you would almost never use it because there's so many better options. I think that puts it above Freya.
I think it's still same tier though. Hey, boo-boo. Finally, we have this. We have Mix. You could say a million things about Mix, but ultimately, all that I really need to say is bye-bye. Mix changes the entire landscape of Final Fantasy X to the point where the game is unrecognizable. You can max out all the damage on your characters. You can give all your characters auto haste, auto protect, along with auto life at the same time. You can break enemies in weird ways. You can create overpowered attack items that just kill you.
Or in my case, you can increase the build rate of overdrive bars by a lot.
Isn't that fun?
Because there's a mix that doubles the rate that it increases, and there's a mix that gives it a 50% boost, and you can stack them.
It is an incredible overdrive. But we're not done with Final Fantasy X yet, because we also have Seymour, who has a usable limit break that I have never used.
I have used it, but it's just damage. The only way to use it legitimately is to take enough damage in the one and only fight that he's ever controllable in, and it would never happen because you can obliterate it with his black magic.
I think Primal Liquid did use Seymour in a run of Final Fantasy X where he only used Seymour.
Yeah, I believe he modded that in.
If I were to translate this overdrive to the entire game, I don't know how it would do. And so I think what I'm going to do is say, I don't know.
Here's the solution to that. First of all, make Requiem do more damage and make it like multi-hit or something. But also, when you're fighting Seymour, have him use it against you.
But instead, he uses Anima. And speaking of Anima, I lied. We're not done with Final Fantasy X because every single Aeon also has an overdrive. Let's talk about Energy Ray.
Energy Ray's strange because it literally can just be outclassed by Energy Blast if you know how to get Energy Blast.
I agree with that.
And you can get Energy Blast straight away.
Is that NFE?
Not fully evolved. It has to be.
Most of these limit breaks are going to go in basically the same tier. They do one hit of damage, caps out at 9999, or if you have the right weapon, 99999. The one thing that Valifor has, Valifor is based on, is he based on Yuna's celestial weapon?
Yes, it is Yuna's, I believe.
Yuna's is like the easiest celestial weapon to get by far. So I think this will go a little bit higher than the other one. They also gave you a non-elemental nuke, so if you use Valifor, you never have to worry about element.
You don't get another non-elemental Aeon until Bahamut.
Maybe Titanic Iceberg.
Titanic Iceberg sounds right.
I'm gonna make another category. Whatever, fine, you're strong, but also like, who cares, right? Like we get it, you're strong.
Wait, you made that for Hellfire.
And for Thor's Hammer, and for Diamond Dust, even for Mega Flare, which breaks the damage cap natively.
No, I think that should put it higher.
And now we get to Yojimbo. He can use 4 skills, and if you have his overdrive up, I think you have to pay him a little bit less money. And for me, he goes into, does that count? I know the bar fills up, but is that really a limit break?
His overdrive is more interesting when you're fighting him. The mechanic is, the higher his overdrive bar is, the more damaging attacks he uses against you. When his overdrive bar is quite low, he just uses the Diagoro dog attack, and then it becomes Kozaku, and then it becomes Wakasashi, the more it fills up.
I just feel like in our battles, I don't feel like it counts. Next up is Oblivion.
Oblivion's really good, and it looks really cool. The native damage cap breaking, by the time you get Anima, you've pretty much got that for most people anyway. And also, getting Anima is not obvious for casual playthrough. You probably never get it in a casual playthrough. Are we counting that against it at all, or are we just purely ranking it on the Oblivion?
We don't have rules, so if you think it should go down because it's not obvious and also because you have other things. The one thing that I will say is strong about it is you can use that and then the delay doesn't matter because if Anima dies, you just go back to your party. But this can do 1.4 million damage and the other Aeons can't. In the PAL and remaster releases.
I don't know about any other version. Not played any other version.
I think it has to go up here somewhere. Delta attack in the remaster does 6 hits and therefore pales in comparison to Anima's. So
I have information. Delta attack is the only Aeon overdrive in the entire game that can get critical hits.
Do you think it changes its tier?
I think it makes it unique in a way. Whether it actually ranks it above Oblivion is a different question.
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what. Oblivion up 1 and Delta attack where Oblivion was. Delta attack's better than Energy Blast. Right, so let's put that in I don't give a
I don't think we have that tier. Well, maybe we can just change this one. It's I don't know slash IDGAF. I think we could just
Quickenings are so boring because they're all the same.
I will say they did get better in the Zodiac Age, right? Because I think they don't use MP in the Zodiac Age.
Oh, we'll be fair. I haven't played the Zodiac Age much to know.
But they used to use all of your MP, and so they were actually like, is it in yet? Except I think the I don't give a tier is actually the best tier for them, so I'm gonna put them there just because I can. I'll be real, I haven't beaten Final Fantasy 13. I had to read about this with this one. Basically, when you have the full ATB, your characters can do something.
I have completed 13. I don't even remember what it is.
I'm glad that we changed this tier because I don't give a I don't know if it counts. I also don't give a so it could really go in either one. I'm gonna put it here because the 13 fans, they are rabid. They literally have rabies. I have confirmed this. I'm a physician.
Something tells me we're not going to need to scroll up for a little bit.
I don't think so. But somebody actually suggested something else, which is another tier. Pay to win tier, because it's a freaking MMO, right? But apparently if you're in a party of 4, every character has some sort of limit break. But really, I'm deleting that tier. I'm going to put this in. I don't know. I don't care about MMOs. They are real Final Fantasies. You are valid. You are beautiful. You are gorgeous. You are intelligent. You are smart. You are kind. You are wonderful. And you matter. But I don't care about MMOs. This beautiful creature right here. This is Armiger from Final Fantasy 15. I've not finished Final Fantasy 15.
I've not either. I think you can actually turn into a Power Ranger now.
I'm going to tell you the reason that I didn't finish Final Fantasy 15. It's very complicated. It's sad. And it's that I hate it.
That's weird, because I've got the same reason. That seems like a big coincidence.
That's crazy. For 10 seconds, he gains enhanced strength, speed, and warp strikes, become immune to stagger and ballistic damage, and will not enter the danger state even if his HP hits 0. So he becomes Numa from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I don't give a That's where it goes.
Okay, I'm putting it in, does this even count? That's not a limit break.
Combine, does it count, and I don't give a
Next up is Semi-Prime, which is not sponsored by Logan Paul, and nobody in this video has a semi right now. We're all fully erect.
Especially when Clive's on screen.
They say you can't be turned gay, but like Clive can do it.
You said this could be a titty ranking. Here's your first pair of real tits.
Oh my, the rack on this guy. 10 out of 10 titties. He does get Semi-Prime if you press both of the buttons for a limited period of time. He can heal a little bit while he does it, and he does more damage, and it's kind of lame, honestly.
It looks like a limit break, but it is lame. It only counts in name alone because they call it a limit break.
But I think it's like, is it in yet? He's a Giga Chad with an enormous penis, and you can't fit it into the slot.
Because sometimes you forget to even do it.
You're talking about limit breaks, right?
Weren't you?
Yeah. First one is Boost Jump.
Decent damage, I guess.
I think it's not fully evolved. Dynamite.
It is AoE damage. Definitely found Dynamite useful against carry armor because if you damage the arms, it has a lower chance of grabbing you. So a quick Dynamite got damage on both of them.
Dislocated shoulder sounds good. Hyper Jump.
It does 3.5 damage to all enemies with a 20% chance to cause death. That's better than I thought it was going to be. It's his first level 2 limit break.
Can we go whatever find you're strong? I feel like it's better than Dynamite.
Yeah, why not?
Dragon.
Dragon Dive?
No, there's Dragon Dive as well. There's also Dragon.
He's got one called Dragon and Dragon Dive.
Yeah, they had some originality issues.
1 1/4 times damage while healing Sid's HP and MP by the amount equal to approximately 25% of the damage dealt.
Bloodfang has to be above this. And so I feel like I put it with Dynamite. But now Dynamite, I feel like should go up a tier. Dragon Dive.
Strike 6 random targets. It does 1 7/16 normal damage and has a 28% chance to inflict death.
I feel like it goes there. Big Brawl. Deals damage randomly to any enemy on the battlefield. 8 hits, 1.125. I think it's about the same as Dragon Dive. More hits, better.
In that respect, it's probably better than Meteor Rain.
But the thing is, Meteor Rain is available so early. I'm going to go with that because honestly, we're trying to determine the best limit break. Wherever these things fall, I'm actually okay with that. And then the final one is High Wind. This is 18 attacks at about 70% damage, randomized to enemy.
It is 18 hits, which is the same as Anger Max, right?
So I think it's close to Anger Max. They're very similar.
Yeah, if you hit the damage cap, then you're pretty much matching Anger Max.
Let's have a fight over the best, shall we?
The absolute best.
Why don't we each say what our pick is for the best?
Okay, sure. Mix.
It just completely breaks the game. It makes everyone else's overdrive better. It supports everybody. It can also do massive damage. And at the time when you have it, it's just ridiculous. If you're doing a no sphere grid run, it's insane.
Mix is the best, but it's not my favorite.
What is your favorite?
Renzoku Ken.
I think my favorite is Angel Wing. I'm actually putting Angel Wing up here. It just does so much damage. The 5 times multiplier on your magic is absolutely insane, but it's not the best.